stumble upon something like moving and junk removal, and you're like, oh, like that sounds cool. I could get into that. Like, talk to people who actually are doing it and see what their day to day is like.
Yeah.
Because you might not. It might sound great, but you don't know what the actual day to day is.
Right.
Just like when I was in my undergrad, a lot of times they would people would talk about what kind of doctor they would want to be, and everyone's like, oh, I want to be a pediatrician, and all of our teachers would be like, yeah, everyone wants to be a pediatrician until you have to give an infant 6 shots in a row. Then you don't want to be a pediatrician too much because the actual act of doing the job, right? Yeah. But you think like, oh, I'm going to be a pediatrician. I'm going to treat kids. It's going to be great. Like sometimes the job and the job description are not equal.
Yes,
right? So I think that the next step in that, after you don't chase them or don't just chase the money, is talk to people who are actually doing it and see what their day-to-day is like. Maybe even go shadow them for a day or a week. Yeah. Ask them what the hard parts of their job are. Because everything has hard, sucky parts, right?
Yes,
like there's no job that really is just cupcakes and butterflies. But that doesn't mean that you have to hate the parts that aren't cupcakes and butterflies. Yeah, and you only can know that if you try to seek that information out by someone who's actually doing it.
And it's going to be easier to go all in any capacity, but especially when it becomes time to really cut the cord completely and you really try to go all in, like this is the only thing I'm going to do. If you're going to turn your side hustle into a full business, or you're going to invest in that franchise, or you're going to buy that existing business, you better know, at least have an idea as best you can of what you're getting into, because when it's time to go all in and the money, quote unquote, is really on the line, you better be ready to actually do that every single day, because that's what you're going to be doing. And that's the only way to be successful, is to actually do the activity all the time. You can't say, well, I only like this part. Usually the hard part is also the part that lends to being, the most fruitful or the most important portion.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And on top of that, even if the hard part isn't the most fruitful, if it's not the most fruitful, I should say, it's the longevity.
Yeah, it's
right?
the most necessary, maybe, is a better way to think about it. Yeah.